Amazing. How are you doing? How was the coffee? I love coffee. And I was so excited about the morning sessions and everything they talked about, especially the coffee. And the connected coffee machines. Because you know what? Our coffee machines are connected. And we use 1,000 kilo, that's 1 ton of coffee every month. And Sweden is only the number 2 country in the world when it comes to coffee consumption. But I'm not going to talk about coffee. I want to talk about the world. I want to talk about the 3 Ps, the people, the planet, and the profit. First, a little bit who I represent, the company. I come from Sweden, Sverige. Huh? I think I'm the first Swedish speaker on the stage today. I'm not sure if I'm the only one, but välkomna till Göteborg. I represent Sandvik, a very old Swedish company. I'm not sure if it's big or not, but we are 42,000 employees. We operate in more than 160 countries around the world. And yeah, we make some money and we have some turnover. And we love people, by the way. People is really, really important because the company would be nothing without people. And we have a big focus on trying to get gender balance. It's not easy when you're in the metal world to attract women, but we're doing our best to get more women to our company. We also care a lot about this planet, and it's been a lot of talk this morning. I love your building. Wow! I wish my office also was connected with sensors and things. I'm going to talk a lot about the planet today because we really think that it's important to talk about the planet. And we love recycling, so we buy back the products that we actually sell from our customers when they're done using them, and we recycle them. And then, of course, at the end of the day, we hope to make some money. But when you talk about profit, profit is not only money. Profit could also be doing the right thing at the right time, and especially eliminating waste. We have 3 business areas within Sandvik. It all started 1862 up in Sandviken. It's a little bit north of here. And that business area today is called SMT, Sandvik Materials Technology. It's steel. We were probably maybe part of your life this morning because we produce 80% of the world's razor blade steel. And then we sell it to different suppliers. Then we have an area called SMRT, Sandvik Mining and Rock Technologies. It's everything underground, mining equipment. So we build drilling equipment, crushers, loaders, and all these things. And I represent an area called SMS. Not the text message. It's a Sandvik machining solution, and we've been in your life since the day you were born, because you're all, right now, actually wearing things or carrying things made with our tools, but no one knows us. Have you ever looked at your zippers, by the way? There is a very famous zipper with 3 letters. It says YKK. That's like, I see someone over here nodding. That's like the Rolls-Royce of zippers. One of our customers. Some of you might have flown to Sweden in a plane. We work with Airbus, Boeing, Rolls-Royce, GE. Those are our customers. Then you know who I represent. Within SMS, we're 23 different brands, and we compete on the market. I represent the brand Sandvik Coromant. And I have some brothers and sisters as well called Seco, another Swedish company. I have some German brothers and sisters called Walter, and I have some Italian brothers and sisters called Dormer Promet. Sandvik Coromant, which I represent, we are around 8,000 employees. We have our headquarters up in Sandviken. We operate in 150 countries of the world, around the world, and we release a lot of new products. There's a release coming up in 2 weeks. So excited about that. We have a new drill. Finally, there's a new drill coming to market. I mean, how hard can it be? It's about making a hole. But this drill is special. So remember, I mentioned this drill because there will be a lot of talk about that drill. By the way, when we sell a drill, we actually don't sell the drill, we sell the hole. Some of you might have flown with Airbus. They're unfortunately stopping building that plane, but the A380, you know what I'm talking about? The big bird. They make 2.5 million holes in that plane when they build it. And we make the drills for them. So they came to us and they said, can you make a drill that's a little bit faster? And our drill was only 1 second faster than the competitor. But you can imagine, times 2.5 million holes, that's a lot of time. And there was a lot of interesting discussions this morning about the future and the world is changing and everything. And our world is really changing. My world started with a light bulb. 1942. Sandvik was not the first company in Sweden to make cemented carbide. That's what we make the tools of. It's almost as hard as a diamond. There's actually Fagersta Steel, another famous Swedish company. They were doing it 1933. But Sandvik took the decision 1942 to get into the carbide business. So they bought a light bulb company in Stockholm. Some Swedish colleagues might remember Luma-lampan. That was part of Konsum, it's a store chain. The thread in a light bulb is tungsten. And the cemented carbide insert is like 80% tungsten carbide. So really quick, we got the competencies, thanks to the light bulb and that company in Stockholm, to make cemented carbide tips for our mountain drills or rock drills. That's what it all started with, drilling in the mountain, making holes. This building, by the way, is still there. It still looks the same. It's in Stockholm, in Hammarbyhamnen, on the southern part of Stockholm. It's what we call in Sweden, it's a K-marked building, so you may not touch it. The inside is really nice. It's super fancy apartments, but the outside, it looked like it did 1942. So that's our roots. And since 1942, we've actually been the market leader in metal cutting tools. And we're not only the market leader, we are also the price leader. I don't like the word most expensive, but that's what I'm trying to say. So when you are the market leader and the price leader, of course the expectations from our customers are really, really high. They expect nothing but the best when they see us. The plant I work in, because I work in a production unit, Sandvik bought that 1951. It was in those days a small carpentry with 18 people making tables and chairs. Our president in those days, the man with the glasses, Mr. Willem Haglund, he went house hunting the summer of 1951, and he found this little factory. And it's in GIMO. That's really, I mean, it's a village. If you blink, you miss it. It's really in the middle of nowhere, but it's in the center. For us, we call it the center of the world. But it's 1.5 hours north of Stockholm and 1.5 hours south of Sandviken. So that's where we have been. Are you with me? You see the small village? So for 68 years, we've been every day changing the way we work. For 68 years, we've been every day investing in new machines. For 68 years, we've been coming up with new tools. And for 68 years, we've been hiring people. Is there anyone from Japan in here? In Japanese, you would say, Ichiban. That's number one. We are number one in GIMO. At least that's what we think. But the world is changing. And the thing is, the change in the world is happening extremely fast. Can you agree on that? Can you agree on that? Yes. She's not our biggest fan. For 57 weeks, Greta has been on strike. Since a couple of weeks back, she's now in the US. Last Friday, she was outside of the White House, and I think actually she doesn't like you either. She doesn't like production, because she thinks that we are destroying the planet. And when Greta started, it was just Greta, a 16-year-old student in Stockholm, all alone. But now it's spread. I mean, it's every Friday. Do you know what I'm talking about? I think you've seen it. And we actually, we like Greta. Greta's grandfather, he used to work at Sandvik Coromant as a controller, and Greta's mother used to sing in the Sandvik Coromant choir. But that's not really why we like her. We like her because she has a point, and it ties really, really good back, now I'm going over in this direction, to your green building. Because 2 years ago, we started at Sandvik Coromant a project we call Green Factory and Green Facilities. There is no... I saw you have some sort of American standard of measuring how green the building was, but there is no global standard to measure if a production is green or not. So what we did, have you seen this? Have you seen these before? Thank you for saying yes. It's the 17 Sustainable Development Goals from United Nations. It's more than 2 years ago since UN agreed on this. And Sandvik today, we support 7 out of these 17. I don't know, do you even know how many of these you and your company supports? I will give you some homework. You need to figure out, do you support this? Because this is important. So what we did, we took the 17 SDG goals from United Nations. We took our strategy, which is shaping the future together, and the 3 Ps, the people, the planet, and the profit. And we looked at how can we create something? How can we create a tool to measure if our production is green or not? So what we came up with was something super simple. It was an Excel sheet where we look at safety, because safety has the top priority in our world. We look at resources, we look at people, working environment, emissions, waste, buildings, infrastructure, everything that goes around that thing, and also, of course, we looked at the production. And then we score ourselves. Everything is red when you start, and the greener you get, the higher scores you get. And then you get a long action list with things you need to do. I can just mention a few things we've done. We don't flush our toilets with drinking water. We have a small pond outside the factory, so we take water from that pond. And especially springtime, I need to warn everyone that's coming, because when they open the lid on the toilet, they think, ooh, there's something wrong with these people, they didn't flush. Because you know, in Sweden, in the winter, it's quite cold, so the pond freezes. And when it's ice on the pond, the water turns brown. And we flush the toilet with brown. It doesn't look nice, but it's good for the environment. We have changed all our company cars to electrical cars. We have implemented our own bus line between GIMO and Sandviken. So we really do a lot of things. And the last winter was a very, very special winter for us, because we recycle heat. We have invented a system together with another Swedish company called Munters, and the system is called DesiCool. We take heat. We have water and ammonium. You can Google this, by the way, DesiCool, and use it. Water, ammonium, and hot air. And in the summer, we make cold air to cool the plant, and in the winter, hot air to heat the plant. So last year, we connected the 2 plants we have in GIMO with the central district heating for the village of GIMO. So we are actually now warming up people's houses and shower water with our manufacturing for free, instead of letting that just go out in the air. We have 25 production units around the globe. That's 16 sites, just so you know. GIMO, for instance, is 1 site with 3 production units, a power plant, a powder plant, an insert plant, and a tool plant. We have done the assessment in all the 25 plants around the world, and we are around 4,300 employees working in production, and we were 8,000 in total in the company. So more than half of the people are actually production people. And I already said shaping the future together. I will mention it a couple of times because that's really our strategy going forward. We cannot shape the future alone. We want to do it together with you, together with customers, together with universities, with high schools, with partners, suppliers. And that's why I'm really humbled to be invited here by OSIsoft, one of our suppliers. But how did this all start? Really, I think you all know this, of course. If I go back to the first industrial revolution, it was when the steam engine was invented, right? Personally, I think Industry 2.0 meant more for people. That was electricity, because with electricity we could start mass production. You remember the Ford Model T line? I think that's the most famous one. And then at the end of the 60s, the early 70s, 1969, the third industrial revolution, that was when we got the computer and automation. For GIMO, we bought the first robot in 1969. We love automation, and we love data. And that wouldn't have been possible without the computers. Then there is an industrial revolution that the people in Sweden don't want to talk about. So I call it Industry 3.5. It was in the 80s. Everyone thought, okay, the solution to everything is to move all the production to low-cost countries. It didn't work. That was not really the solution. The cheapest place on the planet right now, 2019, to produce what we produce is in GIMO, Sweden. It's amazing. Then there's been a lot of talk about the fourth industrial revolution. And it's actually been created by all of us. Because the computer didn't self-invent itself, or suddenly there wasn't just two holes in the wall and electricity came out. It's invented by people, and it's the same with Industry 4.0. If you can buy it, I think all of us would have bought it. But you can't buy it. So we're inventing it. The scary part, though, is that the world is shifting so fast right now. And I'm a little bit surprised now looking at my previous speakers. You didn't mention the fifth industrial revolution. I know you're working on it because it's already here. The fifth industrial revolution, if you Google Industry 5.0, you will see it's already here. I'm coming back to it later on. But it's a lot about cooperation between man and machine. And that's the scary part. It goes so fast. So we need to be speaking with each other. And unfortunately, I wasn't here yesterday, and I will not be here the rest of the week. But I have some colleagues that will be here, and they will monitor everything. Because you really need to suck everything you can when it comes to information. Because we have to be prepared that we need to change. You might remember this. Do you remember these computers? Had a green screen, it had a dot matrix printer, and papers were coming out. Do you remember it? Floppies where you saved, you can store very limited amount of data. But it was a revolution when it came. Then, I'm not really the best friend of this clicker, but today, you all have enough power in your hand that you could almost fly to the moon. The phone is a super powerful handheld device, and it has really a lot of power. The future, I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking over there. When will it come? The human embedded computer. I meet a lot of customers from all over the world. Imagine if I could download Chinese and I could speak any language in the world. So today Chinese, tomorrow Russian, it would be fantastic. I'm sure it's going to come. My name is Claes Nord, and last year I said this 150 times. I will say it today again. I have the best job in the world. Imagine to do this 50% of your time, talk about your company. And now I'm looking at my colleagues over there, showing up the world's best production. Wow. The other 50% of my time, I work with our brand on all the 25 production units around the world. How does it look? What do we show to the customers? What do we say? What don't we say? But it says in the past. In the past, I had a business card. Are you ready for the future? Today, let's see if we can get this thing working. I take my phone. We should now be connecting something, okay? So here's my phone. It has an NFC reader. I will start the scan. I scan my hand. Voila. Up comes my, I'm doing some charity riding for the Swedish child cancer. But here's my business card. And of course, I can connect to the Pi world. So I have a little chip in my hand with 100 pages of information, and I can store anything I want on that chip. So who needs a business card? I could have Power BI reports. I can have anything I can open. I can even open the doors. It's a little bit scary, huh? I came yesterday with train from Stockholm, and Sweden, I have to say, is fantastic because I pay with my hand. It's tied to my bank account, so I just showed my hand and they scanned it. SJ, I say, wow. And there's 5,000 of me with the chips in Sweden. Thanks for that. Today, when you speak about manufacturing, it's a lot about batching. I don't know, the whole world woke up when Lehman Brothers went bankrupt. No one wants inventory. I don't know if you see that as well. Don't have any inventory. It's all about just in time, small batches. It's also a lot about resources. In production, we only have 8,760 hours per year. 8,760, that's 24/7, 365. You need to utilize the people and the machine as much as possible. And then this is sad. We have to stop destroying the planet. So the evolution going towards the future is, of course, automation. It's, of course, digitalization and collecting data. And, of course, VR, MR, AR. Those are some Microsoft HoloLenses. It's a mixed reality. You can see the real world and the virtual world at the same time. The future needs to be sustainable. It needs to be green. We need to save the planet. I always say it's not only hard rock that should save the planet. We should do it also, all of us. We need to be super flexible because we need to be prepared to do a lot of different things. We need to be prepared to work together with machines. And you can forget that manufacturing of the future needs muscles. No, it needs brains. We need to analyze the data. We need data scientists. The future is also AI. And I'm so happy about AI, because you can do so many fantastic things. But you need to have historical data before you can start it. And we have a lot of historical data, so we're ready for machine learning and AI. If you go to the hospital, by the way, in Uppsala, and if you look on this, if you have a brown dot on your skin, you want to know if it's a good one or a bad one. In the past, it was a doctor that was looking, and he said, oh, it's okay, we don't need to do anything, or that's actually, it could be cancer, so we better take it away. Today, it's not a doctor examining you in Sweden. It's a robot. And the robot is actually more accurate than the doctor. So machine learning, also in the medical world. So what we need to do, we need to reinvent ourselves. We need to figure out new methods and new ways of manufacturing, because it's going to change. We need to start printing things, and we love additive manufacturing. April 1st, I know it's not the best day, but April 1st this year, we launched the first world's printed milling cutter. And we printed out of titanium. So we have a whole department doing additive manufacturing. By the way, we made a smash-proof electric guitar for the Swedish famous guy, Yngwie Malmsteen. He's very famous for always smashing his guitars, but he can't destroy that one. We printed it out of stainless steel and titanium, just to prove that we can do it. We also, 1 month ago, did the world's very first printed industrial diamond. So with additive manufacturing, it's just your imagination, that's your limitation. It's going to be a lot of post-processing and a lot of post-machining instead of pre-processing and pre-machining. It's also totally new ways of working for the people. It's absolutely changing, and it's going super fast. So we have to reinvent ourselves. And the trick is, if I go back to Industry 4.0, there was a lot of talk about big data and the people and how to analyze the data, how to get the right data to the right person at the right time. Lot of talk about super advanced robots. Lots of talk about smart factories, smart buildings, connected, and of course, IoT. I wasn't even here yesterday, but it matches so perfectly. What a coincidence. Or maybe not. But if I talk about Industry 5.0, the next industrial revolution, we talk a lot about collaboration between man and machine. In our world, we talk a lot about cobots. And yes, you actually did mention it because you spoke about AI, and you spoke about sensors. We call it safety wearables, and digital twins. That's why you need to go up in the cloud. Whew. It's so quiet in here. I can't believe it's so quiet. Okay, let me talk a little bit more then about our plant, what we have done. When the financial crisis hit at 2008, 2009, I was then a training coordinator, and we lost 60% of our business overnight. We didn't want to send the people home, so we took the decision, we will do training. So we actually had 205,000 hours of training for the blue-collar workers. And what we did what I recommend you to do. Don't reinvent the wheel. We went to Södertälje, that's south of Stockholm, to visit Scania. And we spoke with Scania about Toyota. So we have Scania production system, we have Toyota production system, and we then, of course, created GIMO production system. Our way of attacking lean. The base for everything we do every day is, of course, our company's core value. And we call that our diamond. And we worship the diamond every day. The diamond is located on a very solid platform, which of course is safety. In everything we do every day, safety has top priority. We actually want our people to be in better shape when they go home than when they came to work. That's why we have 32 sport activities for free every week for the employees. It's very important. Also, it's very important to have breakfast, lunch, dinner, so we can have it in our canteen. I can pay with my chip, by the way. And we are good, but that's not good enough. You need to continuously work with improvements. Within Lean, that's called Kaizen. So we work with Kaizen, Kanban, Andon, Six Sigma, 5S, SMED, fishbone analysis, root cause analysis, all the fantastic tools from Lean. And we add data. Data is the key to everything. And then you need to have some sort of structure, how to work with all these improvements and how to analyze the data. And then once again, as I said, it's time to think outside of the box. We have since 2 years back a new president of our company. We've been for 75 years. Our president has been a middle-aged to older Swedish man. But 2 years ago, when we turned 75, Sandvik Coromant, we got a young Belgian woman, Nadine Krauls. And she says like this, GIMO, it's okay to make mistakes. Because going to the future, if you need to do improvements, sometimes you will make mistakes. She says like this, make the mistakes cheap, make them easy to fix, and don't repeat them. Because if we don't make mistakes, we don't challenge ourselves enough. So we need to be on the edge all the time. And since 1942, market share-wise, we've been number one. Price-wise, we've been number one. But I can also be very honest, the distance to number two is getting closer and closer. So there's lots of pressure on us to really change the way we work, change the way we produce, and come up with real innovations when it comes to tools. So our imagination should be the only limitation in our way of working. We have our own school. because it's very hard for us to find people with the skills and competences that we need. So we started this school in 2007. And it's a 3-year, you start when you're 16, you graduate when you're 19, and of course then it's a technical training. And the goal we have, when they graduate, we hope that 50% of the students come and work with us immediately. And we hope that the other 50% goes to the university and comes back after 5 years. And it's actually working. We also drive all our projects bottoms up, not top down. So when we try to implement things, it's not like the management team is saying, this is what we need to do. We actually let the work be done from the floor, because then it's a much stronger buy-in from all the people, and they are really creative. Don't ever underestimate the power of your people. I have to say, the people of your companies is your company's most important asset, together with data. It's good that I added that. Huh? I can see they're smiling there. Communication is key, but it's not easy to communicate. It's also not easy to know what skills are required tomorrow. What do we need? What will the competences for manufacturing of tomorrow really need? We know one thing. We need to be able to work very close to the machines. We need to utilize the machines in the best possible way. So to train and to get the right skills and the right competences, we actually, in GIMO, have a pedal car factory. So we build pedal cars. And it's exactly what I'm saying. We're building pedal cars. This is to practice the principles of lean, to get team building, to eliminate waste, to work with the right thing at the right time, and to really get things going. Now I'm looking over here again. And to get things going, you need data. We in GIMO, we love data. This is true. It's not the typo which you see on the screen. In GIMO, we collect more than 400 million data points every day. It's insane. And I know in the future we will laugh about it. Why on earth are you collecting 400 million data points every day? We do 1,200 analyses every second, and now I'm looking at my colleagues responsible for those. Great job, guys. They don't use the 400 million data points that we collect. We collect it, as I said, because we can. We store it in the cloud, of course. And we have so much historical data now, so now we can take it to the next step. We can go for machine learning, we can go for AI, because we've been collecting it for quite some while. We have a concept we call quality from me to you, so everyone is responsible for his or her quality. You have to do a quality check before you deliver to the next department. We work in what we call flow groups. So each group, they're doing everything, ordering raw material, delivering finished products. We are great when it comes to industrial design, because we are what we call production technology center. So as I said, 2,500 new products every year. We industrialize those. It's one thing to do it in the computer, but we do it in the real world, and that's a challenge. For the insert plant in GIMO, it's 6 new inserts every day. That's a lot of new product, and it's a lot of challenges on the people. This is Jonas wearing a pair of Microsoft HoloLenses, looking at the part of a turbo, a hologram. Maybe that's something you can use in the future for product development. We see another really big thing for the mixed reality. Imagine maintenance department. We have a lot of machines. Most of them are from Germany. And when they break, sometimes they do, it would be great to connect with your HoloLenses to the supplier in Germany. They can see what I see, and they can give me these instructions right in front of me. It's one thing you can do with them, so it's really a lot of things. And digitalization, you were talking about this earlier. The challenge with digitalization, I mean, 2 years ago, now I'm looking at my colleagues, we had something crazy going on. We thought we should put 400 TV screens all over the plant. We need monitors everywhere. We need to show the numbers. We don't talk about that today, because everyone has a handheld device. And when everyone has a chip, you can imagine, I just scan my chip and I get the data that's interesting for me. So 4 of us actually have these chips, because we're running a pilot project to see what we can do. I have a production manager, a HR person, and an operator, and myself. We test the chips. And there's 5,000 crazy people like us in Sweden. So we really believe that the chip can actually give me accurate data for me. I can pull up any Power BI report that I want from that. We have a lot of machines. We have more than 500 CNC machines, we have more than 400 robots, and we still have people. But in one of the plants, we only work 2 shifts. I work a morning shift from 5:30 in the morning to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, an afternoon shift from 2 o'clock to 10:30, and then the night shift from 10:30 in the evening to 5:30 in the morning, no people. It's 8 hours, no people. And that process, thanks to the data, is stable. So now we're questioning ourselves. If we can work 8 hours in the night with no people, why do we work 16 hours in the day with people? Is that really needed? No. So when you come and see us, because I hope you want to come to GIMO, it's the center of the world, we will work 4 hours, man and machine. Machines will run alone 8 hours, man and machine 4 hours, machine alone 8 hours. Fantastic. But no Swedish people want to work a split shift. I don't want to come in and work 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours in the afternoon. So the trick is flexibility. The people need to be able to do everything. I will make drills for 4 hours and milling cutters for 4 hours. Someone else will make turning tools for 4 hours and holding tools for 4 hours. Flexibility. Have you heard of World Economic Forum? It took place earlier this year in Switzerland, in Davos. Before it took place, the World Economic Forum, together with the company McKinsey, scanned the world. They looked at 1,000 of us, 1,000 different production units in a lot of different industries. And what they were looking for, how digital is that factory? 16 was selected. It's so funny that you were talking about lighthouses. 16 were selected by the World Economic Forum to be called lighthouse factories. So there's only 16 World Economic Forum lighthouses. Then we have some PI lighthouses, or might have in the future. But this is World Economic Forum lighthouse. Out of those 16, 9 are European. And I think you see behind me the one. One is Swedish. And guess what? It's us. We haven't understood really the power of being a lighthouse. It's really something special. We got selected for 4 things. Parametric design and manufacturing, we invented that 25 years ago. Digital thread throughout the production process, 15 years ago. Microsoft Power BI Analytics, that's like 2 years ago. And the Core Plus real-time process control system is something we've been implementing during the last years. The best slide of my presentation, look at this. So beautiful. Already in 2010, we implemented Pi. At those days, it was CoreSight. Now we have Vision. We implemented it for proactive maintenance. And in 2010, really, the world was not speaking about digitalization and Industry 4.0. For us, it was about the machines. What you're looking at is 4 million euro. Sometimes they break. We equipped all the machines with sensors that we put there because we wanted to know there's a red dot on one of those grinding machines. It's not feeling bad. That red dot went immediately to the maintenance department. Hey, I'm not feeling well today, please fix me. So instead of us coming in the morning and finding out, oh, the machine broke down, we know already the day before that tomorrow it will break down, so we need to take some actions. So we love sensors and we love data. These are the sintering furnaces where we bake our inserts. These are presses. By the way, in our plant in Pune in India, we've taken this to the next level because we also added the sustainability part of it. We measure the electricity consumption, the consumption of compressed air, so we get an environmental footprint and a production footprint. These are CNC machines. I can see exactly which program I'm using, which tool I'm using, how long I have used that tool. And I hate to admit it, but sometimes our tools break. Even the world's best tools can break. And if a tool breaks, I want to know, why did it break? And thanks to Pi, I can go in and I can analyze and I can see actually that second that tool broke. Why did it break? Was it something wrong with the tool? Was it the machine? Or maybe it was a human error. Maybe we did a typo. So we did a mistake when we did the programming. Then, of course, we gather OE. We want to see how the machines are performing. And then we take all this data and we make beautiful Microsoft Power BI reports. We can pull out the most used tools. I can pull out the most broken tools. I can connect all my production units in the whole world. So I connected the machines. I connected the plants. And then, don't ever forget your most important asset. I also connected the people. I took all the people and I did my skill matrix. This is a maintenance department, the people working there, all the skills. Twice per year, I sit with my manager and I go through my skills and competencies, and I actually rank myself from 1 to 5. Let's say I know how to fix an ABB robot, and I'm a 3. So that's what I tell my manager. And if an ABB robot breaks down, I search for ABB, and I get all the people that has ABB skills. Don't forget the people. It's been read for a while now, so I have to stop. I love to speak. I wish I could have stayed here for hours. But I have to say thank you so much for listening to me. And I hope I didn't scare you. I hope I got you thinking about the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. We have to save the planet. Think about the people, think about the planet, think about the profit, and do your homework. How many of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals is your company supporting? Thank you very much.